This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, both Masters winners are going head-to-head in a do-or-die elimination match. That's right, baby. Gen G and Sentinels. One of these teams ain't making the playoffs, and we're about to run this thing back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 9 of Champions Seoul, coming at you live once again from the COEX Artium here in Seoul, South Korea. I'm Golden Boy alongside our Elder Statesman desk, as I like to call it, because they put Boomer in the script. I ain't saying that. I'm saying Elder Statesman because we come with wisdom and value. It's Achilles and paper thin. And yes, how you guys doing? You okay?
I'm
a little intense.
I'm feeling good. This is going to be a tense matchup day, but right now I'm feeling like I'm
a little intense.
I'm the nurse here at the home. I'm about to put you guys down to bed, get you your meds, your apple pie.
You're literally like 2 years younger than me.
Again, the exponential scale starts coming in hot.
I'm going to punch you in the neck. All right, well, in any case, so let's go ahead and talk about what happened on our stage here yesterday, because we had 2 EMEA and 2 Pacific teams up for elimination. First up, we had Vitality taking on Talon, and we wanted to see the uniqueness of Talon, but we also needed to see Vitality step it up. And Paper Thin, that is exactly what happened for Vitality. It was a big performance from them.
No. They played really, really well. I mean, Kix was playing out of his mind.
Got a 6K.
Yeah, the 6K, the actual, like, unheard of performance from him. And then Paper X comes in the next match and kind of revitalizes Pacific. And they get a win overfoot, a 2-0. And it's like, it looked like the Paper X of old. It's like Jing's going in crazy, and they're having all these crazy good moments. They're playing together as a unit, and that was a really fun thing to see.
Yeah, there was definitely some Paper X moments in there.
Oh,
we were
plenty.
Getting on the roller coaster for a period of time, but the ride, it was a really short one.
That's normal Paper X.
But exactly. It did feel a lot more like the Paper X that we have come to expect. Divide putting up strong performances, Forsaken having that impact, etc. And Mindfreak, I will just say, continues to look absolutely excellent ever since the start of Stage 2.
Yeah.
It feels like he has just been on one.
Yeah.
So that is great to see.
Feels like everyone had a moment in that series from Paper X, whether it was something on his incredible lurks or it was Divide with the op doing some damage with that. Like, everyone had a moment, and it was great to see. But let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and where we are right now, because we're down to just 12 teams, and we're going to keep shedding squads as the days roll on. But there you can see the layout of the bracket, and what an incredible journey this has all been. Seriously, you know, we had all 4 regions represented in #1 seed. It's been such an incredible competition, but those aren't the actual #1 seeds coming into the tournament.
Yeah, very true. There has been some pivoting in that regard, and we have to see who those #2 seeds going into the playoffs are going to be. But just the amount of parity that we have been having, you know, losing one EMEA team yesterday, losing one Pacific team, being able to see that every single region right now is represented in playoffs. The balance across the board has just been kind of absurd to witness.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of tournament favorites going out here. I mean, think about Lev and Vitality, right?
3
like
today.
2 teams that I thought were maybe going to get out of that group, right? Who knows? And then you've got EDG Paper X, fated to meet no matter where they go. Every time at international events, they just run into each other, but now it's an elimination match. And then today, Sentinels Gen G, your 2 Masters winners so far this year. Insane.
Unreal. Well, that brings us, of course, to today's lineup and what we're going to be watching here today. As we had mentioned, 2 more elimination matches, and they are huge. It's going to be Gen G taking on Sentinels, a run back from the Masters Madrid finals, from a run back from the start of this damn tournament. And then we have Fnatic versus Crew Visa, which who knows how that one's going to go. We'll talk about that one when it comes, because there's so much more to discuss. But the thing is, and we kind of mentioned it just a second ago, at Champions Seoul, every single #1 seed failed to make a clean break for that #1 seed in the playoff bracket. I guess it leaves me wondering, yo, is that joint cursed?
Look, I'm never one to believe in curses. The 9-3 curse doesn't exist. I don't think a first seed curse does either. What I think is that when you have a lot of expectations set on your shoulders and everyone anticipates that you're going to win when you've been playing so many games, we know how difficult it can be to remain at the top. No king rules forever. So having these stumbles, having these off days, it's something that can happen and has happened to all of our #1 teams.
Well, and for me, it's just there's so much parity in all the regions and all the leagues right now. There's so many really good teams out there that it's really tough to consistently, perform at that high level. That's why it makes moments like last year with Fnatic, this year with Gen G, what they've been able to accomplish has been so special, because you can see here in this tournament, it's incredibly difficult to keep winning because everybody's so good.
Yeah, I mean, look, coming into the tournament, literally no one gave Trace the time of day. They're the #1 seed representing the China region right now out of playoffs. Unreal scenes that we have been witnessing here at Champions Seoul, but it has been such a damn good tournament. Now, the first seeds are the topic of today's MasterCard fan poll, and we want to know how many will be eliminated over the next 2 days. Is it going to be 0, 1, 2, or you could be a coward and pick 3 and 4. The options are yours. Make sure you scan the QR code. It's popped up on the screen right over here, and we'll have the results later on the show. What do you guys think?
I don't heckin' know.
I think 3. I'm going 3.
So you're picking the coward's way.
Fnatic. No. Fnatic, Gen G. 2. Fnatic, Gen G, and then I think Vitality's going to beat Leviathan, and then I think PaperX is going to beat EDG.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
I like that. I like
that. You're just going with it.
When you started talking and you named Gen G, I was like, we're going to have an issue here.
Wait,
but
what?
when he rounded out that set, because I thought you were going to say that they were getting eliminated.
Oh, no.
So, but
I forgot that I'm on this desk with a bunch of freaking Pacific sympathizers over here. You guys, I mean, I get it. It's your region, blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. All right, folks. Today, it's going to be another chapter in this epic series that we've seen between Gen G and Sentinels. It's America's team versus the heroes of the Pacific. The 2024 Masters winners fighting for their lives because there's only one ticket on the train to playoffs, baby. See what we did there? Made a movie poster.
Yeah.
All right? Because Chicken Train to Busan. It was a good movie. All right? And everyone should watch it. It's a little scary.
Great movie.
Yeah, but, it's good.
Quality, entertaining popcorn movie.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with the lack of zombies in the background.
And I think, the SEN fans can come in and do that.
Okay, all right.
They're the zombies.
They're the zombies.
They're all waking up or staying awake to watch this game at the moment.
Perfect.
City.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair.
City.
It is quite late. But we did see these guys throw it back before, and again, they're just players were like Gen G had a great run in that first matchup that they had at Champions here at Champions Seoul. But this, of course, what we're seeing here has been the journey of these teams and what they have accomplished. It has been an incredible season for Gen G. It would be a shame to see it end here and now. But Sentinel started the year off on top of the world, Paperton. So it's just like, how did we get here, man?
It's a shame either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's partly because, Gen G kept getting better, and Sentinels kind of went down a little bit, recovered. They plateaued. But, maybe, who knows? Maybe they've hit that peak again. Maybe they're on the up and up and Gen G's on a downswing, and this could be the Sentinels' moment. Who knows? But it's a matter of seeding. Like, that's how they got here, and both teams kind of had some struggles right when it mattered the most, and now they're facing elimination.
Yeah, and a lot of people looked at that bracket and was like, oh, Gen G and Sen are going to make it out, no problem.
I didn't.
No, I
didn't look at them.
Really? Well, to be fair, Heretics was there too.
I had
so
a
yeah,
slightly
that makes
different
sense.
take on that bracket. Yeah, because Heretics being there. But of course, it was always a bit of a coin toss as far as who was going to be able to make it out. I had Gen G going out in first place. Clearly, that didn't happen. And now the coin toss can potentially fall down to this match because Sentinels has been looking stronger and stronger. They've been getting back into that form since the last series, at least we should say. Those were the performances that we were looking to see from this team if they are going to hoist another trophy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, ahead of today's matchup, Yinsu tracked down Munchkin and Zelsis to get their take on this clash of the Titans, and I want to hear some fighting words, so let's go ahead and send it over to her.
We have a big game ahead of us, and I'm now joined by Zelsis from Sentinels and Munchkin from Gen G. It's the 4th time you guys are going to be playing against each other this year. So I wanted to ask you, what's the script, Munchkin? How is things going to go today? Give me your prediction.
There's no way we're gonna lose, so we win today.
All right, what's the script, Zelsis?
Well, they're looking nervous. They feel nervous. I mean, they're probably pressured on us beating them last time in our second match, so I think it's a 2-0 for us.
2-0 for you?
Yeah, easy.
All right, we'll see who's right. Good luck, boys.
the steely stare of Munchkin in that handshake. Fun fact, they had fisticuffs afterwards. I'm kidding. They did not, but that would have been great content. In any case, though, Sentinels, they looked good in that 2-0 win over FPX. It was what you were talking about earlier, Achilleos, how this team had found themselves again on the global stage when they needed to most. And FPX were coming into that one. A lot of people were favoriting them, especially what we saw in their first matchup. And Sentinels proved everyone wrong.
No, very much so. Honestly, I kind of did think that FPX was going to get it done because we just weren't seeing that impact across the board from Sentinels in the first series. It was Sasi who was kind of the only one fighting back. Everybody else a little bit lacking, but Zekin's been one of these players who's very much stepped back up here onto the stage. He's been looking incredible. And for FPX, it was a good attempt. Autumn, in particular, put up some really nice moments on that chamber. But Sentinels just were the better team on the day. Yeah,
a lot of the uniqueness that we saw from FPX did, in some respect, kind of bite them in the butt. But you can't take anything away from how well Sentinels played, especially when you run it in contrast to what we saw at the beginning of this competition, Paper Thin, which was Sentinels getting trounced by Gen G, because Gen G were on top of the world coming into this.
This looked like Gen G was in championship form.
They looked like world beaters.
Yeah, they looked like they were just going to walk through this tournament, win every match, just like they did at Shanghai, and come out on top, but they stumbled against Heretics. And to be fair, there's some things that Heretics did really well to shut Gen G down and kind of keep them off balance, but I think a lot of it goes to Gen G looked really uncoordinated to me. Some of their plays and things like that weren't quite as clean as I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, and also let's not forget too that Sentinels were trying out a bunch of things, but in the series against FPX, they actually went back to basics. They went back to the things that brought them here to begin with. So there certainly is, Achilleos, something to take away from a Sentinels team who's kind of learning from their mistakes. The question is whether or not they learn from the biggest mistake, which was that 2-0 loss against Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you stumble upon something and you have a composition that you like to run, and it has been going incredibly well for you in scrims and practice, etc. And it's like, okay, we can really see the strength of
fed false info.
But being able, hey, trust me, that has and can happen.
Oh, all the time.
Sometimes it's difficult to really integrate that onto the stage. The deadlock, that's the big thing that we're talking about here. They weren't able to really find the full value and potential of that deadlock pick when they're playing it over on Ascent. Trace comes in, shows how to play it perfectly on maps like Bind, etc. But sometimes just being like, okay, you know what? This isn't translating to the stage for us. Let's just revert back to something that's a bit more stock standard. It's not going to catch anybody necessarily off guard, but it's something that we can still play at a very high level, and it's going to be more comfortable for us. That can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's one that allows for them to get back to just this form where they can start popping off.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. And of course, two players you're going to be looking out for on either side of the stage. We're going to talk about them. It's Texture and Zekin facing off yet again. And, we talk about the form and the comfort. Zekin was right back in that form, Paper Thin. He was feeling fantastic, and it showed in the server.
Yeah, it was insane. He looked like a completely different player versus what we saw against Gen G. He seemed a lot more comfortable. The whole team did. Everybody's playing a lot better off of each other. They're able to kind of combo their utility, have those good trades, things like that, and that really favors Zekin because that gives him that comfort to be like, I can go in when I need to, or I can do X, Y, Z, and my team's going to be there to back me up, so I don't feel pressured like I have to have this huge 1v3 play or something like that to really break open space and do some good things for my squad.
Yeah, I mean, the difference from what we saw in Zekin's performances from that second series compared to when they played against Gen G, it was absolutely staggering. I mean, the Gen G series, 2 maps played, only 19 kills collectively between those 2 maps for Zekin. Goes into the next one, he almost drops 40 across 2 maps.
Yeah.
It was a big level up in performance. That's the kind of impact that we are used to seeing from this guy.
Yeah, he has been so impressive in that showing against FPX. But for more on the win over FPX, and of course today's matchup, let's go ahead and hear from the pride of New Jersey himself. It's Zekin in this Omen player moment.
Hello, my name is Zekin. I play for Sentinels. Thankfully, we were able to show up with very good form against FPX. I watched a lot of their games leading up to the match, and they have a very, very crazy playstyle, take a lot of gunfights, especially Autumn and Life. They let them fight a lot. So I was expecting a really back and forth game with them being able to get a bunch of rounds and then us, swinging back. Very excited to get our first win and stay alive in the tournament. Now we got to go up against Gen G for a rematch, so I'm very excited for that. If I could describe Gen G in one word, it would be solid. They come in with very strong game plans, and most of the time all of their individuals show up on a given day, so they're a very well-rounded team.
30 HP to his name.
And 10s is in such a good spot. Zekin smoked off, but you're still going to have to do a 10s.
Too easy.
Falling, and now Sasi has arrived.
To all the fans, you're the reason that we practice every day and try and work hard to get wins for you guys and to validate the support that you give us. Having a fan base like ours is so amazing, and I'm really grateful for it. Both in Madrid, we had a really strong showing from the fans, and here too, we have a really strong showing, and it's just an amazing feeling to have people supporting us wherever we go.
And that is very true. A lot of Sentinels fans have come out here in full force to support their squad. So it's been pretty cool to see the Gen G fans, Sentinels fans, everyone kind of clashing on that stage together. Sentinels fans making their way to the Pacific Arena. That's got to feel nice, isn't that right, Achilles?
I mean, it's super awesome. Look, I get along well with those guys. It was great to have them out here for the AVL. So they're no foreigners to Korean soil. They've been here. They've won a trophy before. They're going to try to do it again. But this is going to be that final test. I think if they can get through Gen G in a pretty concise fashion, okay, they're back on the menu. The topic can be there. Sentinels, a second trophy this year. I think it's absolutely plausible.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and shift our focus to the heavy favorites of this competition, because coming into it, it felt as if the world was at Gen G's fingertips. And unfortunately, it slipped away at the worst possible moment in that #1 seeded game for the playoff spot against Heretics. Paper thin. Heretics figured out the secret sauce, if you will, that Gen G were cooking up, and they managed to pretty much take advantage of it and implement it and beat them.
Yeah, they really grinded Gen G down into the dust, and it started to break apart some of the protocols, some of the good macro and micro that Gen G
Which is what we always praise them for.
Exactly, man, exactly. And it's been really tough for Gen G to kind of face those situations because they don't have to very often. Very rarely outside of Pacific are they getting tested. And you can see why. Look at this graphic.
2 matches lost. One was against Sentinels, one was against Heretics. And basically those guys seem to be running into each other all the time. But when I look at this track here, Achilles, what I'm seeing here is a team that is so put together that even in losses, they find ways to improve and make themselves better. I mean, you can even see, like, once you came out from that loss at Masters Madrid, they hadn't lost since. They were unstoppable, man.
Yeah, I mean, all the way through Shanghai, never falling that lower bracket, making maximum use of that, that grand finals map ban advantage that you get. They were not, they weren't going to squander it like they did the first time out versus Sentinels. It's been an incredible run from this team to have come together at the beginning of this year to pick up a rookie out of solo queue and say, hey, we think you're good enough, come trial with us, pick him up, and then have him become a Royal Roader with a victory over and kickoff to start things off, then to lift the trophy, after getting already into an international grand final. The year from Gen G has been incredible, and the biggest thing about this team has been the tenacity and the perseverance. They have been nonplussed by everything that is thrown at them. No matter how many games they have to play, sometimes they do look tired, sometimes they play a bit of a closer series, but ultimately they continue to fight. And that's why I'm not that concerned for them after their last showing, because I didn't think that they particularly look like their usual selves versus Heretics. I'm not that concerned for them going into the series today.
Quick question, right? Gen G has had an incredible season here, but I am a little worried because it's like we're here, we're at an elimination game now.
Sure.
Like, what happens if they don't make it through? Because then does it feel like all that kind of fades to the background? I don't personally think it does, but I'm curious to get what you guys, or your perspective.
I mean, obviously it would be a monstrous disappointment, and it goes against everybody's expectations coming into this tournament, because they were so concisely and clearly the favorite to take this entire trophy. So I think it would sting from that perspective, and there would be a lot of regret and a lot of just like, oh, what if we had done this differently? But ultimately, the year is still insane for this squad to come together in the way that they have, to be able to achieve what they have in such a short period of time. For Karon to hit 1,000 kills within VCT Pacific in his first season. You cannot take any of that away, but this would certainly be a bit of a blemish on the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we'll see how this all plays out, and I'm excited. Look, Gen G have had an incredible season. Sentinels had an incredible start to their season. Both teams now trying to figure out what they need to do to make it to that next stage in this competition. But for now, though, let's actually take a closer look at things that kind of went south for Gen G in that loss against Heretics. Paperton, I know you have a telestrator you wanted to break down.
Yeah, and Achilles has a ton of confidence in Gen G, and I'm usually right there with you, but I have some concerns.
Okay.
And I want to take a look at this round. This is round 10 on Bind versus Heretics. Gen G has just taken a timeout, and things go very south very quick. Now I want you to look at this setup that Heretics is using. They've got 2 initiators here. They've got the Yoru here. They've already sent a Dizzy through Long, and then they're going to launch some util. They're going to throw the Mosh into Garden. They're going to throw a flash into Hookah, and they're going to use a fake out down here. And that's a lot of util, and that's going to buy this rotation. There's already been the quick rotation here from Karan. You know, this is something Gen.G is really good at. They want to go from side to side on the map, right? And this is Heretics using that against them. Now, let's zoom out again. Let's watch a little bit of this and fast forward, because this is mostly just util, but you can see that it keeps Gen.G planted, and it's going to keep Karan over here.
Yeah.
But then there's that TP out. So there's that quick rotation that Heretics has available to them, and Munchkin is in an awkward position. Now, he is going to hit a crazy good shot.
Yeah.
But he's getting, yes, absolutely destroyed with utility right here, and he's getting backed into U-Haul. Once again, I want to zoom in on the map, and I want you to take a look at what's been identified here, and that's Texture's position. You can see the ping there. There's going to be a Thrash that comes through there as well to keep him in that position. But already, look how fast the rotations are here from Gen.G. They're on their way. So this, to me, looks like you've got to set up to wait a little bit and play for a crunch and shut Heretics out of this round. However, it does not go that way, as Munchkin feels a lot of pressure. Texture tries to re-clear showers, but instead opts to challenge for the fight. Now, I'm going to rewind it just a little bit, and I want to zoom in on Texture's utility. He has the blast packs available, but he opts to stick in that position instead of trying to get out of dodge and wait for the reinforcements. That's an uncharacteristic mistake that I don't see very often from this Gen.G squad. He ends up dying. Now, the reinforcements have arrived, but immediately, Lakia sends in a flash and tries to make a hero play ahead of it. He dies. Karan gets stuck in the smoke and gets spammed out, and then the round's basically over. I mean, that's it. That's round done because of a couple key small mistakes in timings and in decision-making that they have very rarely made this year.
Now, do you think that's a result of Heretics, you know, absolutely putting them on the, you know, back foot there?
Yes.
For sure?
That's part of it, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it
Their
felt
utility
like
usage in that round was crazy good.
Yeah. I mean, the misinformation cell at the very beginning to just bait those rotations and then have a really nice, concise push into that site. It was a very solid effort from the side of Heretics, so credit where it's due.
But there's an opportunity there for Gen.G, is what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah, and there is, right? I think, you know, you tying up a few of those things, you're right back in this. You know, you get that confidence, you make sure that you're taking fights with your teammates, especially when one of your teammates is Meteor, who that series dropped a 26 total, plus 26 total overall. Absolutely was phenomenal against Heretics. Unfortunately, just did not have, you know, the rest of the line firing alongside with him. And Achilleos, I feel like, you know, Meteor always going to be an X factor for this team, but the way he has been performing in this tournament has been really impressive.
Oh yeah, I mean, Meteor is still going to be in the conversation for one of the best players in the world, just given what he's able to do even in these losses. And I think that, you know, for me, Gen.G being able to play this series as closely as they did versus Heretics, while I'd say pretty much everyone other than Meteor looked off, just goes to show how much individual impact he was having, because a lot of the rounds that were won were off the back of this guy coming up with multi-frags. So I think that if the rest of the team are still feeling off today, if they can do 10% of what Meteor did in that Heretics game, they should be okay.
He's been crazy all year. I mean, especially at international events. He's really stepped up. He's been that guy that can win them rounds that they don't have any business winning, that he can lock down sites like Sion Lotus, make them impenetrable for Gen.G, and really set up the rest of the squad for success in how stalwart he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good at just rattling his opponent time and time again. So if he's able to do that here in Sentinels, when they get rattled, it's hard for them to shake themselves out of that. But another player that will also cause those problems, because, you know, pretty much every player on Gen.G is freaking phenomenal, is Karan, who comes into this a rookie. He's a rookie. We already talk about him like he's some seasoned veteran, but my guy's only been
like
in
it.
He plays like it.
At this point, he is. I mean, he's still a rookie and will be until, you know, the 2025 season rolls around, but he has played so many games. Gen.G has basically just gone through the most difficult route possible for every single stage, every single tournament, just playing maximum number of maps. And Karan is just so very seasoned now. He continues to have incredible performances. I think, again, a little bit off in the Heretics series. We were seeing some uncharacteristic mistakes and movement from him. But overall, this guy has had maybe the best year out of anybody globally.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can argue with that paper thin.
No, the only other players I can think of are players on this team. I mean, it's like, that's it. So he's insane.
Maybe Woot.
Yeah. Woot's been incredible. Woot's been absolutely incredible.
Sure.
But, I mean, for Karan, he's so good in a lot of different ways. He's extremely talented, just at locking down a site, being that anchor. He does a great job with his timing, with his play there. Actually, you don't see it on that Telestrator clip I have, but he actually smokes off showers for Texture. Texture just kind of makes a bad decision there. He does a lot of good things at the right time. It's just like, sometimes the team isn't always there, whatever. That only happened really against Heretics. But he has incredible firepower, and he can be set off balance sometimes as an anchor, but it's been very few and far between.
Yeah. There's certainly going to be so many stories that we're going to be paying attention to going into this one. But before we get into today's first match, why don't we go ahead and talk about the forecast of what the next 2 days are going to look like and play a little game of what are the chances?
Oh boy!
We're each going to make a prediction about what's coming. One is a 90% chance, one's a 50% chance, and one is a 10% chance. None of us know what each other selected. So, Achilleos, you're up first, Papa.
Good luck.
All right, let's see if I can remember what I did. I think my 90% chance was a prediction coming into today, which was that GB would intro the show with a comment about him and Paper Thin being old or bald. And we got that. You called it the Elder Counselor or whatever the hell it was.
To be fair, he got set up for that.
I was in the script, man.
Yeah, it was in the script.
I didn't ask him to do that.
That's Mike. That's our writer, Mike.
I just knew that it was going to happen.
All right, what else you got?
That's my 90%. That's my sunniest. And we managed to nail that.
We nailed it. Quite a bright
My
day.
50%, which is a little bit of overcast, is that EDG is going to beat PaperX for the second time ever.
Where's the?
I don't know.
Now, where do you lean on that?
I don't know.
Where's the rain? What's worse than rain?
I got PaperX going forward.
Hurricane force. Yeah.
I don't know. I got a feeling.
Right now, I think EDG, as close as they were able to play their last series, I think that they are kind of on the up and up. And while I do think that PaperX will have the upper hand, they can't keep beating them.
But let's talk about your last one, your 10%. How about that?
All right. My 10% is that I do not get a heart attack during this series, regardless of the outcome. So 90% chance that I get a heart attack is basically what
All right. I think
Where's the sunny? Yeah,
that's quite sunny.
Yeah,
That's going to happen.
sunny,
All right,
yep.
Paper Thin, you're up next. What you got?
All right, so one of mine's already happened as well.
Okay. Oh boy. I don't know.
I make fun of you guys for being old.
Correct.
Yes. Oh my God. No way.
All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
next, I say 50% chance Texture gets a 4K but doesn't get the ace and loses his mind on screen, right?
No.
I think it's actually better than 50, but
He's getting the ace.
he's getting
the ace to qualify for playoffs.
He ain't getting the ace. Oh my, to qualify for playoffs. Okay, like Shakespeare. What was your 10?
That Sentinels will play Deadlock today.
Oh, yeah, actually, I could see that. I
think it's super unlikely.
It's super low.
I think they've learned that that agent just isn't for them. Yeah, it's a good agent. There's nothing wrong with it. Just isn't the right fit for them at this time.
Look, as much as I would love to instill fear into the hearts of all the Sentinels fans, I do agree that it's unlikely.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely as well. All right,
I don't know if that's a sunny or a rainy then.
I don't know actually. Well, we're the first time we're doing this. All right, let me go. Here's my forecast. I think I wrote it last night. There it is. Lotus is played in Gen G versus Sentinels. I think that's going to happen for sure.
Yes.
Texture gets the ace. Texture gets the ace.
I think he's going to be denied it. He's just on this weird, funk of,
he can't get that fifth kill. And then the 10% chance is that Crew 2-0's Fnatic. Or 10% chance, excuse me.
Well, I mean, I agree it's a 10% chance.
That's why I put it as a 10%. So that's a sunny forecast for me, boys.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I kind of nailed this. All right, let's go. Pop off, gang.
Better than your earlier predictions.
Okay, well, you know what? Again, now I'm going to punch you in the neck. All right, so moving forward here, it's time for the results of our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you lovely people how many first seeds are going to be eliminated over the next 2 days of the competition, and the results are in. Survey says... Well, I think we should be coming up in a second here.
You're about to get us sued for that.
Yeah. Oh, guess so. Guess so. Yeah. There it is. 2 teams.
Oh, okay. That's where we were at.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Which two?
I
think EDG.
For me, Gen G Fnatic. I think today is the 2.
Those are the 2 he's saying going through.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Gen G make it through, and then you know what? I think it's kind of funny. Crew will win.
Oh,
with you.
Man.
I'll take your 10%.
Doug is yelling. He's biased. Doug is yelling he's biased, just an FYI, which also is kind of
biased towards comedy.
Let's see the predictions and see how biased Achilleos is. Oh, shocker.
I mean, I didn't actually go for it, but...
yeah, well, I went with Gen G today because I just felt like I mean, you got to look at previous results here, but I am the lone crew champion, baby.
I think they can win. Fnatic did not look.
They're going to contact all over the map. They're not going to run a single play.
Yeah, they don't good against DRX. They got slapped.
There's always a chance because it just happens.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, dude.
That's true.
Crew
or Heat.
Crew will do something silly at the drop of a hat. I'm telling you, it's so capable. But this day is going to be incredible, boys. I'm excited. We're locked in. This is going to be probably one of the most exciting days of Valorant here at Champions Seoul. So with that being said, we have so much more to break down, and there's going to be so much more to come. But let's get this show started. Gen G versus Sentinels, Fnatic versus Crew Visa. Day 9 of Champions Seoul starts right now.
I know in the past I made this joke about how I've been working out and how I look buff. But at this event, I actually have been working out. And I'm starting to look a little bit bigger. You might think you're working hard right now, but we're working harder. I think I'm ready to lift this trophy. So step aside. We're coming.
VALORANT will get a 2-0 victory over Fnatic. For Fnatic, they still have another life. They still have another chance.
Of course, it feels sad that we lost, but we're still alive in the tournament. All we have to do is beat Crew.
Me siento extremadamente confiante y creo que nunca me había sentido tan confiante de mis compañeros que tengo al lado, que cualquiera se puede sacar una ronda y puede dar vuelta a todo y nos da ese como momentum de esa partida.
I think my most memorable moment against Kesnet was at Chance 21 when he won and dropped us off the tournaments. And now we have a chance for a payback.
Del que han pasado 3 años, pero de nuevo se va a demostrar que soy mejor duelista que tú.
We've lifted trophies before. We can do this.
SEN City, here to play, here to stay. Gen G will take him out. A good close finish, not how they hoped.
센티넬과 마드리드 결승전에서 패배를 맛봤을 때 후회가 되는 플레이들이 마구 떠올랐고, 그리고 저 트로피를 내가 들고 싶었는데 라는 생각과 그냥 많이 후회했던 것 같습니다. 그리고 화도 많이 내고.
It was one of the best feelings ever to lift that trophy. I'm very confident that we can make a repeat of the Madrid Grand Finals. I've done it before, I can do it again.
마드리드 때처럼 둘 중 하나가 집에 가게 될 테니 관객들에게 좋은 경기를 보여주도록 합시다.
Gen G, yeah, their symbol is the tiger, but I feel like we're the tiger now, and they're the cat, and we're coming for blood.
Sentinels. Genji.
And it can only end this way. These two teams have met each other 3 other times in the past. Today is number 4. And who stands tall? Because it's for all the marbles and it's for survival in the competition. Here is your series layout. You got Lotus, you got Icebox, and Haven. And I said we were going to see Lotus. And I mean, look, it's not a shocker, but Sentinels are the ones who ended up wagering for Lotus there, Achilleos.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the start here on the veto, I think it does make some sense. Genji continue to not really want to play on Sunset now that they have unveiled that Abyss. But the Ascent ban away here from Sentinels, not wanting a repeat of what happened that first time that they did clash. But they elect to go to Lotus, and Genji goes to Icebox. It's been a strong map overall. They've gotten wins, but they've very rarely been clean ones.
And I really think this is a interesting pick from Sentinels for a couple reasons. First of all, they haven't played it since May 4th, week 5 of stage 1 in Americas against Furia. That's the last time we saw Icebox from them. They've been widely banning it. However, this was the decider map at Masters Madrid, where Sentinels absolutely destroyed Genji. This could be them saying, you remember that? You remember that time we did that to you? We're going to do it again here today.
Yeah, but then when you look at Haven at the end of it there, I mean, again, there's just so many things. Overall, what I'm expecting here, fellas, is a phenomenal matchup. I think both teams, I think Genji, they're going to wake up. I think they'll go ahead and shake off what happened in the past. Sentinels, they have found their form. They have found their confidence again. This should be a clash of titans. This should be an absolute war. At least that's what I'm expecting. And I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to 3. But if it does go to 3, I feel quite confident in Genji's chances.
I mean, I'm right there with you that Haven, you know, it was at the Ascent. Those are maps that they were able to go ahead and take them down on. So I think that in the long term, it could favor them. But, okay, no big overarching changes whatsoever here, so just going to be straight up. I wasn't sure Sentinels electing to pick up this Lotus versus Genji. Were they going to have something up their sleeve? Were they going to be trying to bring out the deadlock here? No.
They're just going to play each other straight through. And I think that is the best way to approach this. Sentinels realized that in that series against FPX, and they're keeping that trend going here, Paper Thin.
It's going to come down to teamwork, and that's what Sentinels showed in their previous match, whereas Genji struggled with that against Heretic. So it has to be confidence right now for Sentinels. You have to find ways to keep those Genji players off balance, to keep them uncomfortable, and to make it hard for Munchkin to make good reads.
My eyes are going to be going to Texture and Lock here, and then Zekin and Saucy seeing that fade raise combination. Who can find value? Who can get the better reads? It could all come down to that.
All right, folks. Well, let's go ahead and dive into map 1, shall we? We're going to send it over to your casters, 2 guys who just love commentating some of the biggest games possible. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, fellas. We're gifted with yet another banger. Our 2 global winners from 2024 will collide on this stage one more time. The difference today, though, is that one walks away with Death of the Year. The other continues their pursuit of glory.
Yeah, this is an obnoxious game. I can't believe we're here. I mean, we thought that this group would have been completely different. Genji would have made it through, and maybe Heretics would have been in the spot that Genji is in right now. But Sentinels, I mean, they looked great. The recovery, the turnaround that they had compared to the first match they had against Genji, they're going to need to bring that energy against FPX here today on this Lotus. And the last time these two teams clashed on this map, it was a mirror. It was a 13-7 win for Sen. And oh man, this is going to be an unbelievable start.
I mean, this is the tournament that's on everyone's minds at the beginning of the year. This is what players play for. This is what the entire year is about. And for one of these 2 teams, it ends today. Sentinels on the attacking side of Lotus. You've got Lakia, who's already taken a lot of space towards A. Now taking a step back, but otherwise, Dre, the map very quiet.
Yeah. It's so timid from both sides right now. No one wanting to make an early mistake. Very default play across the board. It's going to be a lurk smoke on C, putting doubt in the minds of Genji. But Munchkin, he's getting ahead of that.
Yeah, a smoke out from Karon as well. The Prowler through, but you're right, Munchkin ahead of the line just a little bit. Getting enough info as to what's really going on. And you see, as we see the map kind of lean back towards A. A couple of members across the middle of the map. Locky is the first one to fall.
Yeah, he was the solo man there as well. It's all up to Karon here.
With a classic light armor, the wall will conceal their movements. As Texture tries to get a little active, Texture was an absolute demon the last 2 times these teams faced off.
Yeah, he absolutely shut Zekken out of the series. And he just shut down Celsius.
At least out of this round, Meteor with a nade and a flash at his feet will fall at the hands of Zekken as Tens looks to get a little bit more active, will connect onto Munchkin. Numbers the way of the attack in a massive amount too, and it's not getting any better for the #1 seed from the APAC region. Sentinels win the pistol, and very quickly, the last time they played, they won 1 out of the 4 pistols the entire series. They struggled.
And not only that, but it's Zekken getting a 3K into that round, getting momentum. It's something that he couldn't do the last time around against Gen G. And it's something that was able to get them over the hurdle in that grand final in Madrid for Sentinels to take that one home. So this is very important for the side of Sentinels. They need momentum. They're such a momentum-based team.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about it 2 days ago when we watched Sentinels dance with FPX. Zekken, unfortunately, he went -17 in the series against Gen G. Those demons are not that far behind him.
Will just be a C hit right off the rip, understanding that they have all gun advantage, all utility advantage, and it's going to be a clear retake from the side of Gen G. What can they really do? They only have a couple sheriffs on Meteor and Texture. And we've seen this post plant happen a lot from the side of Sentinels. They'll put this deep alarm bot in water with a molly. It's all to delay. And then they'll cycle smokes on default. This is so hard to break through. Zekken's having such a map already.
Dude, it's the 2nd round, and he's already 1 point away from having his ult online.
And he's hungry. He wants more. Here it is. He gets that ultimate.
I mean, when you have that far of an advantage, you really want to push, and that's exactly what he does. So massive for 2 reasons. You mentioned Sentinels, you mentioned Zekken struggling, and how it's important for him to get back online, get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. And I think he's already doing that, 7-1. But also, the showstopper round 3, huge.
Yeah, and they didn't lose a single rifle in the process. John QT, he was sitting on a sheriff the entire time. Yeah, Zekken falls down there, but he got the showstopper like you said, and John was able to pick that Spectre up and now upgrade to a Vandal. And on the other side, it's all light armor across the board. If that showstopper even tags somebody, it's going to do mad damage. It'd probably take out a couple players. But I will say, in the last series, we saw Zekken whiff a couple of those ultimates. So
yeah, think about that bind one, that sword. Right past the Autumn, if I'm not mistaken. Seems like a lot of pings on the minimap towards B at the beginning of the round. Gen G seemingly wise to it. 3/5 of their team is posted up around here for now.
But the mid-rounding, Celsius, while all that front B pressure was happening, took all of C control. And he's farming up his own little orbs right here. Munchkin needs to be careful right here. If he gets carried out, yeah, that showstopper's going to do the damage.
And the thing is here, if you're Sentinels, you don't have to fully commit to this. It seems like they might, though. Tens is already TP'd all the way across. You've got everything back sight, mowing over Gen G.
An absolute firing squad that Texture just ran into.
I mean, he swings, and it's the most terrifying thing you could imagine.
It was diabolical.
And so now, as the dust settles and as the rest of the round kind of comes to a close, you see Sentinels with a really big advantage here. They're up on numbers. You've got John, who's going to get a little bit closer to having his ult online. Zels is halfway to his. Money's in a really good spot. This is the Sentinels that was missing a couple of days ago. This was the Sentinels that was missing in the opening match of this tournament.
Yeah, missing in stage 2, honestly. Even in the playoff, they barely squeaked in. Celsius gets the quick trade, securing the round. Getting closer to that ultimate. And yeah, Zekken wasn't the one that got that showstopper kill. But Saucy doing his due diligence with that Fade Prowler. Sniffing out Munchkin. And yeah, there's not much you can do in a spot like that against a showstopper and a Spectre.
No, I mean, you mentioned it. He needed to be careful. That was just that's a brutal one and done spot.
Yeah, and losing the bonus round, it could feel so bad. Your economy feels like you can never really get it going. That being said, it's going to be light armors again across the board right now and a showstopper of his own for Texture.
Find you. Still waiting.
See if he's able to replicate any of that success. Maybe that's the tipping factor here because you see the buy. It's not great. 2 Stingers and then Sheriffs.
Bring them down.
For Sentinels, again, a slow start. Pretty metered, pretty tempered, if you will. Just kind of waiting to see if Ginger are going to get active, if they're going to try to take some space and throw something aggressive into the fold. And that's exactly right. You got the Paranoia that's out, and they're going to give up some of the same main space, trade the Paranoia of their own, but manage to get away unscathed.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that all that C control was already gathered. So there's 5 members here, and the rotations can't make it in time. Sentinels are aware of this.
Well, they've
but
got
they're getting delayed.
You got to be careful here, too. There's a brutal crunch. Remember, Texture has his ult. But once again, fully sending out onto C. Saucy will be the first to fall as Munchkin manages to find 2 on the round. There's the ult popped as well. Not connecting onto anything, but Munchkin continues to farm. 3 on the round now. Oh, I thought he had fired it off already. Celsius falls on it. It's just John left in a 1v4, and they're weak, but not that weak. A thrifty round for Gen G.
He may have been in the wrong position in the round previously, but this time he took things into his own hands. He gets 4 into the round, 3 with the Stinger, gets the upgrade. That allows Texture to go in with that showstopper and secure the round win. And what a way to stop the bleeding. I mean, winning an eco round, now all of a sudden your economy is going to be back in the game. You're back in the mix of things. Gen G needed this, and they needed it desperately.
And there was never any doubt that a team like Gen G would punch back. Right?
Yeah.
They're not the team to roll over. They're not the team to kind of fall in the face of big moments. So you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was inevitable. The question was when. And it just so happens that the stars aligned on the 4th round.
And they're also a team that takes a little bit to get going in series, I noticed. Sometimes, they'll go down, I don't know, 4 or 5 rounds, and then they'll bring it all the way back and even secure out the map if that. But if not, they can reverse sweep at any moment.
Sure. Zakin already taking a ton of damage. Just off a spam through the smokes, 21 HP, no armor left to him.
These teams play at such a high level, both of them. It feels like we're truly watching like just a chess match right now, just a battle back and forth of the brains. Sentinels will take space here. Gen G will take space there. This tit for tat, blow for blow. The rotations being in full effect. Look, 3 members facing each other in front B. Both teams have such a good read on how each other play.
The spike is rotating back towards B. Both Paranoias have been traded. As of personnel on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Both players have been traded too.
All of that KJ utility. Pop towards C. They have a decent idea that that's where the hit is, but with 30 seconds left, there's still a couple of options. And once again, 10's the tip of the spear, TPing forward. A little bit separated. How in the world does Meteor win that? Saucy with the swing on the trade. Nicely done. And now with 3v3. It's Texture creeping his way forward. The first to fight, the first to find a kill. Has this been the case? Instantly traded right back 2v2 now. Saucy has his eye. Lakia has no health left. It's Karen alone. He's been good. Head and shoulders above the rest. But can he deliver here? Against John QT, no, he cannot. The leader for Sentinels delivers once more.
I mean, it was trade for trade the entire way through. It came down to a 1v1. It's that chess match I was talking about. This is going to be such a close series if it continues onward like this. But now, it's ultimates available for the side of Sentinels. Here's the replay of the trading on site. It's so evenly matched, it feels like. Pistol round, truly the only difference maker in these rounds in this 1v1.
And again, we talked about this when we saw them play against FPX. The big difference was John QT, it felt like, in my opinion. Right? When Sentinels have been good, John has delivered. That's a big moment for him early on.
Getting your IG on the flow state can be a really big thing, especially early on. If he starts getting the kills, you get more confident in the calling, you start getting better reads.
Oh, they've got him figured out. They spotted him.
That was a tough one.
He was there in the previous round, too.
And Sentinels have a good idea of when a player's playing pushed up like that and they're solo to go through the door, the revolving door. No one has met them there yet.
The look back towards A. Texture getting through the ult. He's got a big timing here. A wide swing and 2 kills found. Again, heroics from Texture. But the counterpunch comes through at just the right time. Second down low, spotting one, trying to switch to the weaker weaponry and not finding a kill. Now 2v2, the pit invested 10s on the prowl. It's an alarm bot keeping him just a little bit further back. His Meteor waltzes into his death, right into the crosshair of the controller. Munchkin does the same.
10's too fast in these moments. Holding the angles. It's a tough, tough round to win if you're Gen G Texture. He went huge in that moment, getting 2, swinging out super wide. Look at this. That's such a wide swing.
Dude, and how many times have we watched Gen G and seen Texture do something like that?
Yeah.
Munchkin, Meteor, do something where they're getting 2Ks and 3Ks in most instances where somebody gets traded instantly.
Yep.
But that just seems to be one of their strengths, one of their strong suits, and we're already seeing that play out. I think the big difference here is Sentinels are managing to kind of go toe-to-toe with that, where they haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, they figured out the spacing game, right? The problems they had against FPX early on in the first map.
Yeah.
It's carrying over. They fixed it. They fixed that problem. Their spacing is on point. They're getting trades. Even if a player gets 2, they're able to, you know, bring it all the way back. And it's going to be an early timeout for Gen G. Remember, the only round they've won so far was that Thrifty off the back of Munchkin. You got 4 kills into that round, 1 showstopper kill from Texture. And other than that, it's been very close, right? We had the 1v1. Karen versus John QT. In this case, it was a 2v2, but 10s. I mean, he just held down that opposite side of the Viper's pit that John QT put down.
Again, it feels like for Gen G, part of their calling card has been delivering in the big moments. And again, anybody on that roster can deliver. Lakia is a guy that we don't really talk about a ton, but he's just as good, just as stalwart in those high-pressure moments. Again, I think the big difference here is that Sentinels have been able to respond and deliver with a couple of their own.
And they're not really getting picked off early either, Doug.
Yeah, I think that's huge. That's part of the 4-round difference here. On the other side of the timeout, what are the adjustments? You've got 3 ults on the side of the defense.
Got 4 now.
Yeah.
Got A-Orb gathered.
Again, sweeping a little bit further. Munchkin clearing out the turret. And now the round ripe for reset.
Shadows traveling.
I mean, the approach from Sentinels on this attacking half has been so calculated, so methodical. They clearly do not want to give anything away early on to Gen G.
No. Remember, that's that lurk smoke on C that you mentioned at the beginning of the map, the pistol round one, but this one way just sucks to get through.
It's just going to keep on being cycled over and over and over. And I think this is going to be an A reclear into a B split potentially. That's why you see an alarm bot from Zelsis put all the way in the back of SC. Viper Wall gets baited out from the side of Sentinels, but a Prowler also out of the mix.
Sand in that hourglass continues to tick away. 30 seconds left in the round now as they've invested the lockdown. And now it's going to be traded back for another.
A big investment from Gen G.
With still a lot of time left to play in the round, the Prowler just got a little bit of info towards A. Second satchel forward and right into his death. Are they going to be able to navigate some of this as Lakia is going to fall in exchange?
Look at the time, Doug.
They may have burned the candle down just a bit too low.
10 seconds left.
They're trying to get ahead of this, but the reinforcements are already here. Look at Munchkin's positioning. That's the plan. Stop. That's John QT dealt with assassination style. The round will go the way of Gen G.
What a round from Gen G. What poise. To not make any mistakes. Not give a single inch to Sentinels. Holding all of that A space. Not taking the bait on that Killjoy ult. And what a counter ult from Meteor. What a call. The gall you have to make a play like that when you are down in the weaponry. That's the second thrifty win already for the side of Gen G. If they can get things going on these gun rounds, they could bring this one back. So this time, that cautious approach from Sentinels, it works against them. Maybe we're going to see a change of pace. Here it is.
Paranoia already out. The one-way goes up, but they're already past it at this point.
Lakia might get caught right here. He needs to be careful. Oh, that Viper Wall gets up right on time. Munchkin, good awareness in that moment. All that's happened. Yeah, Texture took this deep angle.
With the op, we haven't seen that yet. Saucy's aware of it now. Is he going to be able to get away? No, Zelsis chases him down.
Sentinels right now, they have no other choice. They kind of have to just hold W here. There's still 2 mollies they have to deal with. The showstoppers invested from Zekin. He gets chipped down very low.
He didn't have any satchels.
Yeah.
He couldn't go.
Will be a free site gathered. Spike should be planted unless spam.
I mean, it might be a free site, but it feels like they're walking right into Gen G's trap. Lakia has his ult. Smoke's already going through. Zekin getting a little bit aggressive, getting the best of Meteor, but again, still, that Nightfall in play, and there it is, right on cue tapped. You've got John, who's playing his tight angle, managing to stay alive with the help of the nade, sure. Swinging out into Lakia, but not able to convert. He's now left in a 1v3. He's cutting his losses. He's tucking tail. He's getting out of there.
Yeah, he's got to save. What proactivity from Sentinels in that moment. Tens holding on to that paranoia, shooting it through water. Zekin getting aggressive in that moment. And amongst all the chaos, when the retake is coming through, when the flood is actually happening, Sentinels are peaking together. They're not sitting back waiting for the fight to come to them. They're picking really good opportunities to fight together. And the trades are going their way. Full confidence right now for Sen. There was a change of pace at the start of the round.
It was. I think on both sides. I mean, yeah, a little bit more aggressive towards A. You mentioned that, but I think, again, Texture taking that aggressive line towards C with the op.
Thank you for trading me. I love you so much.
That's just a different look, right? We haven't seen that out from them.
A little bit of frustration from the side of Gen G.
Again, the op in the hands of Texture. 3 ults to play around, light armor for everyone. And I think I got to go back to what you were thinking there and saying a couple of rounds ago. What is that smoke?
Very interesting. Maybe to hide from an aggressive haunt if there was an A fight to be in the mix.
Yeah, possibly.
And it was a fake TP going into a B hit, so they're trying to condition very small micro things. You have to do that when you're at this high of a level of play.
Zeki was too far out, Tens was too, Munchkin again, delivering. These are the big moments where Gen G has their way with the opposition. They're yet to win a gun round, but it seems like they're going to here. Forget the Thrifties.
Oh my gosh, he went for more.
Just Sean QT and Saucy left. I don't know that they really have anywhere to go.
What a shot from Munchkin, that was disgusting. He's looking for more.
And remember, Munchkin was the hero in a couple of rounds ago, the first Thrifty round that they won. Delivering again.
Saucy might just opt to save. I mean, he's got $350 in the bank. Spike is definitely going to have members on it. Texture with that operator being one of them.
Yeah, I do want to go back to the value that Munchkin has been able to provide for Gen G all year. Right? I know I mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but you think about these map-changing moments, these series-defining instances. It's often multi-kill rounds, and it's often like these.
Yeah, from the top. No one looking at him. He puts his Viper walls up at the most opportune times. And then he hits shots like that. That's crazy. To be IGLing, to be the forefront of your squad at the same time, that is so hard to do. But he's one of those IGLs who, like you said, he's been doing it all year long. Such a big part of Gen G's success this year. Such a big part of their consistency this year. Getting second the first international, and then winning a championship, the second one in Shanghai.
A level of consistency that hasn't been rivaled really in the history of Valorant, but has the potential to get pushed here. Texture once again with the op. Looking for any skin, any blood, and nothing found. Oh my goodness! Better late than never, I guess. He's gonna get a third! Teeing off on Sentinels! What a round from Texture, the 4K for Gen G!
That was unbelievable. He's so quick with it. And now he's the one at the top. That last kill, what was that? Was he trying to flick Zek in there? I mean, he ended up killing John, I believe.
The collat, you know, whatever. You get lucky,
goodness.
but those last two.
Oh my gosh. And that's scary right now if you're Sen. 4 rounds on the defensive side for Gen G. Texture is here and ready to play, still sitting on that showstopper.
Wow! And now Meteor's joining in on the fun. This is the Gen G that's terrifying! This is the Gen G that wins championships!
And I said it, Doug. Gen G are a team that tends to start off a little bit slow, but when they get warmed up, they're unbelievable.
And yes, this is an eco round, but you know, we talk so much about confidence, we talk so much about momentum and how valuable that is in a game like this. We've already seen 2 cataclysmic shifts as far as how momentum has gone.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have Meteor in the mix of things. We've seen Meteor on this map play Killjoy and just decimate teams by himself. And a hard read here, perfect spray control. Getting the third on top of it. What a nice flick.
Following the tracers all the way back.
Nasty
just
stuff.
Perfect. So before we hit the last round of the half, Sentinels will call a timeout of their own to try to slow things down. I think if you're Sen City here, Dre, you've got to find a way to slow down some of this massive swell of momentum that has currently come up from Gen G. They've won 3 rounds in a row. They've won 4 out of the last 5. And Texture, Munchkin, and Meteor are online in a massive way. And again, those were the 3 names that caused the most heartache for Sentinels at the beginning of this tournament.
Crazy players that could change the game at any moment.
And I want to take this moment to talk through, you know, the Des talked about it, but I want to mention again the global dominance that Gen G has had this year. There was that graphic that was flown by the Des. They're 11-2 in their last 13 global matches.
That's obnoxious.
That's asinine. That level of dominance is just absurd. But now they both find themselves again in a position where one of these 2 teams goes home today. And it was in a way that nobody expected. You talked about this at the beginning of the match. We thought it might be Heretics that was down here, fighting against likely Sentinels, and Gen G would be the ones kind of cruising all the way to the playoff stage, but I guess that's why you play the game.
Unbelievable stuff from both sides right now. Sentinels were up 5-1, Doug. Gen G, they brought it all the way back.
Again, this fight for a main continues to go the way of Gen G. There's just not a lot that Sentinels can do to fight back.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Latvia gets taken out, but the showstopper,
it was short! Nipping at his heels, but not enough to get the kill.
Oh my gosh.
John QT continues to dance with Des, just looking for any sort of moment of respite to reload. Now back to full strength, continues to hit the spam, no targets found.
Sentinels don't want to let Gen G come back into this round with a free pick. That's why they're grouping up. They're deathballing right now.
And remember, Karen has had this aggressive angle. Many of the defensive rounds that they've played, are they expecting it here?
Even if they are, I mean, it's so tough. He's ahead of this Viper wall. Oh my gosh! What was that peek from Second, though? Instas, and they're just going to run through the door like they have been this entire time.
Perpendicular walls keeping these 2 teams apart as one of them goes down. Munchkin gets ahead of it. Second on the jump spot, they understand the threat that's on the other side, and now they decide to wait it out. They're beckoning the fight to come to them. Either you wait out the lockdown, or you fight us.
It got spammed.
And now Texture not able to hold the line, not able to keep up the resistance. The pit invested, Munchkin trying to trace over. Snaps back onto Munchkin, or onto Sasi, excuse me, but Meteor's left alone. Sentinels get to 7.
And they needed that one, but is 7 enough, Doug, on a map like Lotus that is attack-sided?
I'm tempted to say when it comes to a matchup between these 2 teams, conventional wisdom goes out the window, man.
You might be right. Like, it oftentimes comes down to those micro adjustments, pistol rounds even. Clutch plays.
See that peek again from Zekin. All
through the one-way. Oh my gosh.
Tiniest of glimpses.
Nice boy! Oh, John, wait, look.
Who knows?
I don't know what they were looking at.
Probably flashing the bundle or something. I don't know. 7-5, the way of Sentinels. We've got an interview standing by with Rob Moore, the CEO of Sentinels, standing by right now. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's the halftime interviews with Bella, and I'm joined by Sentinels CEO, Mr. Rob Moore. Hi, nice to meet you, Rob.
Thank you so much.
네, 센티널 CEO 럽 모어 씨와의 인터뷰 준비해봤습니다. 이제 서울 방문한 게 오늘 처음인지 좀 어떻게 이번 챔스 즐기고 계신지 한번 여쭤보겠습니다. Is this your first time in Seoul? How have you been enjoying the city?
This is my first time in Seoul. I think I've already added 5 pounds eating all the great food here.
이 서울 방문은 처음인데 아마 오고 나서 한 2-3kg는 금방 찐 것 같다고 얘기를 하십니다. 오늘 센티널 경기 초반에 화력이 아주 좋습니다. 좀 이렇게 성장을 잘 해봐서 오늘 멋진 경기 보여주고 있는 센티널 팀은 얼마나 좀 자랑스러운지 한번 여쭤보도록 하겠습니다. You must be proud of how the boys are doing. You know, they started off great. So, how proud are you?
You know, it's been an amazing year, and obviously now this is our 4th time playing Gen G. I'm a little surprised. It's the first time I've ever been in a match where everyone is rooting for the other team. And nobody's wearing a Sentinels jersey today except for Tenz's uncle.
이제 올해 센티널의 성적이 너무 좋았고 그리고 이제 젠지랑 벌써 붙은 게 4번째인데 사실 경기장에 와서 센티널을 응원하는 팀보다 젠지의 관객들로 이렇게 가득 찬 건 또 색다르다고 합니다. 그리고 또 센티널을 응원하고 있는 텐즈의 삼촌분 빼고는 없다고 하네요. 이거는 이제 센티널의 번들 구매. A minute for you. 그럼 저희는 로터스로 돌아가 보겠습니다. Back to Lotus.
You know, for as much as that was lighthearted and you know, whatnot, and fun to listen to Rob for a second there, I think he makes a really good point. Sentinels are in a position that they rarely find themselves in. I mean, yeah, they did at the beginning of the tournament, but the stakes are notably higher here. This is enemy territory that they're playing in front of. When they're often used to looking out to the crowd and seeing a sea of red, it's all black and gold now.
And it's been just blow for blow this entire way through. Everybody on both sides performing at the same amount. You see Texture and Zekken going head-to-head, same amount of kills. John and Munchkin, same amount of kills. It's poetic. Roll for roll. It's so equal.
Genji on the pistol, they're already farming the orbs into Laki's hands. Perhaps indicative of what's in store. Oh, a little bit of spam, Texture plucked. You know, you keep wondering, and you know, maybe this is kind of the feeling for most fans that are watching, is that I think there are a lot of questions around if and when Sentinels will crumble. When will they kind of fold under the pressure? Will that be the case? Doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. I will say they are taking a big step back on C this round. Genji have gotten out onto the site, but Sentinels have the numbers advantage. No paranoia to speak of, no smokes, nothing like that, but Tenz has a Sheriff and light armor.
Oh! Zekken also has a Sheriff to his name. Oh, but he's gonna get taken out right here. The proactivity in the post plant, Munchkin getting 2.
Not able to find safe passage, not able to get across. I cleared out, now without getting a tag, Tenz getting the best of Karan, and now Munchkin left alone, a 1v2. Difficult to win, but possible. Just not the case this time. Again, pistols were elusive to them. In their first matchup, that's now 2 for 2.
That was close as well. Munchkin, he did his damn best right there. He had to get an ace to win that pistol round, and I mean, he might as well could have. But the Sheriffs are too strong. You could wall bang with them. 2 body shots is all you need. That's why Zekken gets that free kill in the beginning. But look at the shots. Look at the form that Munchkin is in right now. He wants it bad. In that interview that Sue had with Munchkin and Zelsis, Zelsis said, no, these guys are nervous. Munchkin does not look nervous at all. He was shaking his head the entire way through. Yeah, these pistol rounds haven't been going their way, but all it takes is one Thrifty to get them back on the map. And that's why you see this Vandal. Yep, that's why you see the Vandal heavy armor buy from the side of Texture.
Such an abnormal purchase.
You also have a Marshall on the field for Meteor. It's a 5-man A.
On the attack side of Lotus, no less.
Sentinels are aware now that the Vandal is in full effect. That room of being shot from Texture. So that's why they're playing so cautious. They don't have the gun advantage when you have a Spectre and a Bulldog. Wow, Tether nade.
Achilles was talking about that on the desk and how it seemed like that needed to be a big part of their success on Lotus, and it hasn't really been much to speak of, to be honest.
And do you still opt to clear out that very, very close corner on Zekken after you use that? I guess somebody could have sneaked in.
This cross is crazy, but Saucy was the backup. He was the reinforcement. Paranoia is out. It's going to tag up Zekken as well. It's just buying time. Wow! With the nade out, still manages to get one. But Karan on the equalizer. Zelsis now aggressive with the Spectre upgraded in the hands of Munchkin. Can he hold the line? Finding all 3!
Strike down A.
Meteor's Marshall finally besting him.
30 seconds left.
But he's now left in a 1v2, upgrading to a Vandal. No armor. Challenged in the smoke. Challenged in the map. Sentinels get to 9.
It was a valiant effort from Genji into that force buy. And it was looking promising. But Zelsis, he stepped up huge in that moment. That little off angle here in the spray down, he knew he had to do this. If you give them the sight, if they are able to upgrade, all of a sudden your chances of winning are drastically lowered.
Hey, look at him. They ain't laughing now, buddy.
What a clutch play. And he stands up on top of it, puffing his chest out.
It's a good sign for Sen City. Paranoia out, the spit goes through. Zekin has to take a step back. But with Zelsis intense, fighting over his shoulder, it's all safe.
One enemy remaining.
Annihilated from the very beginning of the round. Bodies littering A main. And it's another song of success for Sen City.
It was so hard to make what was going to happen in that moment. Just util for util, shot for shot. It was chaos, pandemonium, but Celsius, he got a kill with the outlaw somehow. And it was just the firing squad set up ready here.
And honestly, this was where Gen.G did have success.
Bro, I missed my nade and we still won.
That was where Gen.G had success in the first half. They were the ones who dug their heels in. They drew the line in the sand A main. And now Sentinels are giving them a bit of their own medicine. Zelsis still with that outlaw that you mentioned, has his ult to play around.
And just across the board, just very default stuff right now from Sentinels. Understanding they have the gun advantage. They don't want to give any picks. It's reminiscent of how they were approaching their attack sides. Playing very, very standard and safe.
Yeah, tempered, I guess, a metered approach, if you will.
And maybe that's what the game plan was going into this matchup.
Sure.
Not giving that much away to Gen.G, not giving these 1v1 exchanges, not giving the contact approaches, fighting as a unit, using utility. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that was the game plan, the adaptation this time around.
It's a cheeky angle there. Zelsis is holding. If he does get threatened, he should be able to get away, unless he's completely overwhelmed.
This is going to be an A reclear fight, though. That's why you see Tens out with that paranoia.
Yeah, I think it's just noise that Munchkin is making. And it's just enough of noise. It's just enough of a distraction. Very nicely done by Gen.G, but Zelsis still holding the line on the other side. That's now 2 bodies found. The swing of the classic will not betray him. Back-to-back 3Ks for the Vibe Merchant himself.
He played that to near perfection.
I mean, he really did.
And now tethered nade. I mean, yeah, the spike gets planted. Oh, it doesn't even get planted. Oh.
I mean, Tens was still really far away and time was really short, but that was almost almost a Munchkin clip.
And remember, last time these two teams played on Lotus, it was a mirror matchup. It was Madrid. It was 13-7 for Sentinels. Gen.G ended up banning that in the finals. Keeping it in this time around, thinking that maybe Sentinels are weaker than what they were. A shell of what they once were. But Sen, if they get confident, they can beat anybody in the world. That's why they're champions of their own right.
Some safe pathing out from Texture at the beginning, but Karn was the one who walked away worse for wear. The doors tap, the Honko's up, no target found, Saucy's dead.
Oh.
Tens.
He's playing this crazy.
He slipped the net.
Oh my gosh.
The Fox is in the den and Meteor is dead. They've gotten the spike down, but they've got to realize there's a threat behind him and it's a considerable one. The Paranoia is going to tag both. Karn's now dead. 2 members trapped in tree. Texture's the only one who's still playing backside. Nice shots out for Munchkin. Equalizing things at numbers. Zelsis with the lockdown. Gonna try to flush him out as Texture's dead. Where do they have to go off this? They have to respect this. They have to give up the space. Nobody on the spike yet. Oh, he's got the line. He can hold him back from there. Zekin's the first to fall. Munchkin dealing with the aggression. Zelsis will have to clutch this out on his own. A 1v2, Locky and Munchkin both still have ults to play around. And time's got to be so short.
One enemy remaining.
There's none left. Whew.
It wasn't looking too good for Gen.G in that moment, but they brought it back. Munchkin, he has no fear in these moments. He came here ready to play. He's the playmaker of their team right now. Yeah, Texture had that beautiful entry, but the impact that Munchkin is getting with some of these frags and trades, it's been crazy. And Lakia, who's been quiet, he stepped up big in his own right here. Picking the perfect timing to get Zek in there.
Well, it was all off of, yeah, it was all off of Munchkin's position and his timing that you mentioned just a couple of moments ago. He had that line from Broken Door. He was able to drop the spit. And again, the double swing out from them was perfect. So Gen.G, stay alive, get to 6. An op in the hands of Zekin, and an aggressive line taken with Zellsis close by.
And Gen G now have 4 ultimates of their own to work with. Meteor, he's creeping up slowly, 3 orbs until he gets his.
I think the question on my mind here is how far up do the rest of Sentinels go here? How far do they dare to challenge? How much space do they venture towards?
It's all a bait setup on C, but that deep alarm bot, that should be heard from Zellsis, I believe. But they're not reading into it. Last time around we saw Sentinels use that same alarm bot, they ended B.
They're committing to this.
Showstopper committed.
The B side is empty, but they've popped the 2 ults and the paranoia out.
Oh. Zekin just stole that one away, opening the door himself.
The spike does go down, though. No ults on the side of Sentinels.
And that does Meteor fallen, so that gives Zellsis this timing.
The smoke keeping them apart. 2 targets found, only 1 claimed. Munchkin, who was so far up at the very beginning, still playing out towards stairs. 10's besting him. Numbers the way of the defense. And Ob still in the hands of Zekin. A difficult weapon to pull this off with.
He's got to be the one that gets on the spike, allow his teammates with the rifles.
I don't know if he has
to
the tools for this.
He's got to hit the shot here.
Aaron's the first to fall. Texture's by himself. Second hits a shot. The defuse comes through. Sentinels get to map point.
We said it against FPX. Zekin looked amazing with that operator. And he's continuing that onward here. He's sitting at 20 kills. He opens the door. Takes his own peek here. And it's against Meteor. Of all players.
And you're right, you mentioned it. That's what allowed the timing for Zellsis to crunch up mid.
Yeah. Zellsis was waiting on that alarm bot the entire way through, hoping that somebody would pick off Meteor, allow him to get that timing, and he did just that.
Zach!
Yeah, you know what he said.
I don't know if any of you are lip readers out there, but there were strong words of encouragement towards his teammate.
He said, I love you so heckin' much for taking out Meteor.
That's exactly what that was. Gen G call a timeout in the waning moments of this first map. A best of 3 with elimination written all over the walls. The end of the year for one of these 2 squads. Hopes and dreams of lifting hardware end today.
And when you were looking at this map pool, you knew Sentinels had to win this Lotus map. If not, you're going against Gen G on Icebox, Haven. Maps that Sentinels haven't really looked that great on.
No, I mean, Icebox was their perma for forever. It's been a while since
they haven't played it since March.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So who knows what they have prepared there, but opting to ban out Ascent, which makes sense. Gen G, the best team in the world on the map, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you're right, they had to win Lotus. And I mean, we're not done.
Not by any means.
But so far, it seems like Sentinels are managing to make good on the plan that they set out to accomplish. Still plenty to be found and figured out here, though. Gen G with 2 ults.
Oh, so much info gathered from that fade.
Beautiful eye out from Saucy. You're getting a little bit proactive here. The Prowler doesn't tag, Zekin doesn't either.
Yeah, and Zekin's gonna have to move now. Get off of that B site. We saw them do this last time around against FPX. He takes a pick front B, goes towards stairs. He has the alarm bot there for protection.
And remember, Munchkin was right up on this in the previous round. The turret, the first thing that's cleared, you still have the 2 mollies.
Such cool protocols right now from Sentinels. So many different layers to this approach.
Yeah, but I really like this from Gen G, though. I mean, they're methodically removing all of the traps and all of the little passive information gathering tools that Sentinels have.
Very high-level stuff right now. That's a free B site because of all that.
And yeah, it costs them a paranoia, and yeah, it costs them a little bit of time, but they gladly give that up in exchange for the site.
Viper's Pit invested as well.
With a molly on it.
Yeah, exactly. Texture's going to play ahead of it. It's looking pretty good right now for Gen G. Sentinels. What kind of retake do they have cooked up?
Careful here on the crunch. Tens has a paranoia. Karen's going to be the first to fall. The first smoke comes through, the tap of the door, and there's the flash. Is there anything behind it? Texture's the only one who I believe didn't get tagged, and he's still up on the pit, like you mentioned. Concealed in the green goo. The spam comes through. Meteor's dead. How much more can he find? Oh, no. Disaster again for Sentinels as Texture obliterates them. 4 found as Gen G get to 7.
What in the hell was that from Texture? He was sitting in that smoke, fearful of his life. He didn't move an inch. He was stone cold. Everybody whizzing past him. He didn't move the whole time. He was crouched here. The entire retake. And that last flick on his second, disgusting.
One enemy remaining.
Unbelievable play.
Crazy.
Yeah. The problem is for Gen G, they're going to have to do it again. The deficit that they're facing is so great. But Valorant can be a silly game at times.
The calling of Gen G has been really, really good so far on this attacking side.
Oh, they're investing heavy into this without real weaponry. Sheriffs and a judge. But they dropped the lockdown, or excuse me, the nightfall. Karen up close. The paranoia's out. Karen's dead. So is Lakia. Texture and Munchkin, the only two that are up. The pit's been planted, but the guns are not great on the other side. Texture's gonna have to clutch again, and he does! 8 for Gen G as they stay alive.
It's ridiculous. And a huge investment from Sentinels as well. Saucy using his ultimate. Oh my goodness. Another showstopper online. He just had that 2 rounds ago.
What?
The momentum is in full effect right now for Gen G. They're within 4 rounds of tying this up.
Last round is often the hardest. And when you're playing against a team of Gen G's caliber, it makes sense.
A lot of Odin spam being done in tree. But Texture, oh my gosh, he's not slowing down.
With ult popped, the tether keeps him back. Zekin's got one of his own.
What?
But he's gonna have to use it in the next round if we get that far.
Doug, I think Sentinels are crumbling.
I think they have to save here.
You have to.
Yeah.
But even the way these fights are going, it's so one-sided in the way of Gen G. They're decimating Sentinels in these last couple of rounds.
I'll find you.
Texture just decided to just wake up and go absolutely nuclear.
Gen G with full momentum here. I was a little hesitant to say it in the previous round. Because again, there was a lot, they still were a lot of ults on the side of Sentinels. They're still at 12, there's still a pretty big gap here, but I think we're watching every single brick of that wall fall.
And Doug, this is why Gen G are a championship level team. You can never count them out. They never give up. They're gonna fight till the very end. They're gonna push you like you've never been pushed before. And the way they've won these last 3 rounds, Texture, his performance, it's been off the charts. This is such high-level play right now. Oh my goodness, 4 HP, and this kill as well. Unreal.
Reckless abandon on the swing, and it works. 23 and 14 for the Duelist, and it looks like we're due for a Clash A main again.
It's a force.
This could be a mess. I mean, almost everyone is here. Both Paranoia's traded. Texture's down. Raid box falls, and now the ult popped, but it looks like it's a little short. And so both teams refusing to relent on this area of the map, but Zekin looking to take us to Icebox. And barring a miracle for Meteor, that's exactly where we're headed. Gen G decided to take the fight where Sentinels have succeeded this entire half, and it was ill-advised.
Wow.
13-9 as Lotus goes the way of Sen City.
Wow, what a map so far. If this is what we have in store, this is insane.
Gen G fought back with ferocious attempts, but it wasn't enough to get him over the finish line. It wasn't enough to close the gap. Texture had heroic moments, Munchkin did too. But the guys on Sen City, they're starting to shoot back as well. We're in for a good one, folks. Icebox on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
stylist. Yeah, ain't no middleman, I get it direct. Yeah, big wristwatch, but it's timeless. Ooh, she gon' work it like she got no time left. Yeah, say she love my style, love my dialect. I know she like it by the way your eyes dilate. Ooh, she a bad vibe, what a vibrate. Yeah, back in my element, walking water with elegance. Put you in a predicament if you fuck with a boy.
See my word, I'm a man, but every dime I be sent, but down swift for the percentages, they ain't give me no choice.
Specialized dope boy from the 213. Yeah, the kicks powder blue like the UNC. All I need is one time and now she won't leave. Girl, this ain't no K-pop, ain't no G-O-D. I fly to Bahamas just so I get a 10. Mark on my back just like a letterman. Do the like, do the hoop, that's the aim one. Everybody swinging, let me know when you land one. Featherweight, now get your weight on. See, I don't take two, now this'll take one. They wanna run it back, I keep it laced up. Look, I ain't got time for your fake love. Roll up with the gang, we gon' violate. Jiggy hella fly with no stylist. Yeah, ain't no middleman, I get it direct. Yeah, big wristwatch, but it's timeless. Ooh, she gon' work it like she got no time left. Yeah, say she love my style, love my dialect. I know she like it by the way your eyes dilate. Ooh, she a bad vibe, what a vibrate.
Yeah.